ibambelela kucala kunathi ema-ARV waqala solo siphethene kahle ngikhumbula kahle ukuthi angimelanga ukuthi ngize ngigule noku nomhla solo ngingumcemane ngiyatichenya ngalesinqumo ngitawuqhubeka ngonathi ngikwethembeka solo ngime kuso sinqumo sami ngigrand ngisukumele impilo yami
kuva kabandi shayela 1212
Good evening, dear viewers, and welcome to the News Bulletin at 8, brought to you by our number one news provider, Eswatini TV. I am Nondomiso Vilagati alongside Izamanzi Manze, and here are your top stories. The Kingdom of Eswatini will soon experience the rise in commodity prices such as flour, bread, and fertilizer. The Eswatini dictionary for lower grades, especially grade 0, 1, and 2, will soon be available. The news. The Kingdom of Eswatini will soon experience the rise in commodity prices such as flour, bread and fertilizer due to the ongoing Russia-Ukraine conflict. This has been said by the Director of Agriculture, Nelson Mavuso.
A press statement by the Director General of the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations FAO says what is happening in Russia and Ukraine adds another significant challenge in global food supply and production. The Director of Agriculture, Nelson Mavuso, says Russia and Ukraine play a substantial role in the global food production and supply. In Eswatini, the Director says the country will soon experience a rise in commodity prices such as sunflower oil, bread and fertilizer. He says cooking oil and flour prices has already been increased.
Russia is that export of wheat. Ngetulukwa logo major producer ye-wheat. Bese kuthi Ukraine nayo number 6 in terms of export of wheat, including ne production yakhona. So by letimbi leti khona in those countries, it means singwa stawukhuphuka definitely. In fact, flour changed in the last 2 weeks from about 34 emalangeni per 2.5 kg to about 42 right now.
The Director also highlighted some of the viable responsive measures by local farmers.
Those that still have inzawanyenyana lesesele, especially producer ema vegetables, they should go full force bawalime because sengiwola ngasilungela nyana. Aslime ema vegetables seriously, sitokwathi ukuthi counterish some of the effects lestabas now. Wesibili siltiko wa available to assist the farmers goods. In the absence of lama inorganic fertilizers, what other methods can they use? One of those is kusebenzisa bo compost. Ukuthi balimi batakhele lokutawufaka ema-nutrients in their crops. Ngesibasebenzisa plant material, all the agricultural waste can be converted into fertilizer nutrients to be used in production.
The FAO media statement further highlights that wheat is a staple food for over 35% of the world's population, and the current conflict could result in a sudden and steep reduction in wheat exports from Russia and Ukraine, and that many European and Central Asian countries rely on Russia for over 50% of their fertilizer supply. Reporting for Eswatini TV News, I'm Samkel Soekoza with Fumenko Sinsinesa Babane.
The Eswatini dictionary for lower grades, especially grades 0, 1 and 2, will soon be available. The managing director of Imisebe Publishing, Hlopsile Stromvik, says there has been a positive feedback of the recently launched Eswatini dictionary, thus the need for that of lower grades.
Following the launch of the Eswatini dictionary called Umpanza, which will soon be available in shelves for sale, the dictionary was launched by the Imisebe Publishing Company. The company will soon start on working on the Eswatini dictionary for lower grades in schools, especially grade 0, grade 1 and grade 2. The company's managing director, Hlopsile Stromvik, says they got positive feedback from members of the public on the Umpanza dictionary, and now the need for the dictionary for lower grades, which they will soon be working on as a company.
Our publishing program is basically influenced by the needs, of the people. Our research has indicated that there is a need for a Eswatini dictionary for the lower grades. Now, on the basis of that information, that means that our publishing program, will have to include, something that will be suitable for that level, because, the market demands that we do have a Eswatini dictionary that will cater for those levels. So in short, we are working towards, having a Eswatini dictionary that will cater for the lower levels as well. The dictionary that was launched, the Umpanza that was launched, we are hoping that before the end of April, it will be in the shelves, because we're now in the printing process. But like I've said, with the with the version for the lower levels, because we have just received feedback to indicate that there is a need, it means we are then going to include it in our next publishing program. I wouldn't want to comment on, dates as yet, but I can assure you that the feedback that we are receiving indicates that we do need a Eswatini dictionary for the lower levels as well.
She says the Umpanza dictionary will be available for sale next month. Thereafter, they will work on the dictionary for lower grades, which will have words suitable for their age, with the guide from the Ministry of Education in order to preserve the Eswatini language amongst the young ones. For Eswatini TV News, I'm Kian Msibi, Manzini.
On behalf of His Majesty King Mswati III, Her Majesty the Queen Mother, the government and people of the Kingdom of Eswatini, as well as the Prime Minister Cleopas Dlamini, would like to extend their heartfelt congratulations to Their Excellency and to the entire Namibian nation on the auspicious occasion of the 32nd anniversary of your independence on the 21st of March 2022. As all Namibians gather to celebrate, reflect on the past achievements and plan for the future, the Prime Minister reaffirms Eswatini's desire to further enhance and consolidate the bonds of friendship and cooperation that exist between the two countries. Please accept, Your Excellency, the assurances of Eswatini Prime Minister's consideration and wishes of the absolute best of health, happiness and prosperity for the people of the Republic of Namibia. The bigger-sized culverts have been put in place in the ongoing reconstruction of the Mahala traffic circle, which allow free flow of water. The reconstruction of the traffic circle started on the 22nd last month.
The reconstruction of the Matsapa traffic circle drainage is running smoothly and is halfway through. The reconstruction started on the 23rd of February following the flooding of the traffic circle due to heavy rains, causing an inconvenience to road users, especially motorists. The Ministry of Public Works and Transport engaged the contractor, which is Road Civil Pty Ltd, to undertake drainage improvements that is currently underway. Tractors and trucks are already on site replacing the previous culverts with bigger sized culverts that will improve the drainage capacity to eliminate the flooding and drainage problem in the area. The company was also tasked with ensuring that flagmen are stationed strategically to assist in the safe flow of traffic on the affected parts of the roads, which is the entrance to Kwaluseni via Mahala Traffic Circle and the exit out of Mahala Traffic Circle, which is also being done as per the agreement, as there were personnel seen controlling the traffic at any time of the day. The ongoing reconstruction will result in a better drainage system on the circle. The poor drainage system has been caused by water from Kwaluseni area and surrounding road network, which was designed to discharge to the Eteteni wetland, which has also been dissipated by the number of commercial buildings and now housing developments, which has now resulted in the water being redirected back to the road and into the Matsapa traffic circle. As the reconstruction is ongoing, road users are urged to drive cautiously and adhere to all road signage on site to avoid possible accidents. The company will also undertake potholes patching on the MR31 Matsapa Road. The reconstruction is expected to be complete by the 22nd of June 2022. For Eswatini TV News, I'm Kian MCB, Matsapa.
The COMESA Federation of Women in Business COMFEB Eswatini branch will host a sub-region Women's Summit next month. This has been said by the chairperson of the COMFEB Eswatini branch, Thandi Ngumalo.
In 1993, the Common Market for Eastern and Southern Africa, COMESA, established the COMESA Federation of Women in Business, COMFEB. COMFEB acts as a forum for the exchange of ideas and experience among women entrepreneurs. It acts as an instrument through the appropriate portion of COMESA women in development programs are implemented. It is also a forum for network among women entrepreneurs and an instrument for encouraging women to set up or expand existing enterprises. The chairperson of the COMFEB Eswatini branch, Thandi Ngumalo, says Women in Business of Eswatini has established quite a number of successful businesses.
Sin COMFEB tinhlelo tethu tisahamba kahle kwanyalo. Lokumcoka kakhulu nyalo ngilokuthi akusibo bonke labasadiko. Lesisakwenda nyalo lihlelo lwethu lusikhomba ukuthi sisahamba la kuma chiefdoms. La kuma constituencies empeleni kuma etinkundleni lapho sitshela khona bomake ukuthi abasukume kusetshenzwe. Uhulumende uyakhona kusibambisa la sibambisa khona uyasita na COMESA uyasita lapho asita khona. Njobe singingasho nje ukuthi every year kuba khona ama grants laba khona lapho si executive bese sesiyabuka ukuthi ngikuphi la singasita khona. Njenganyalo nje kukhona lapho sisazama ukuthi sibambese kakhulu laba betilwane laba ku agriculture. Sisacela nje sisahwayazwa lokukhomesa ukuthi akasisite ukuthi bomake batendele le feed yekudla. Phinze futhi basisite sibomake ukuthi basende sikhicite lamatfole lawa vele enyama labo beef master ngoba site la nale labo feedlot bethu lesibenda ngale tinkomo tethu nje letingasibo labo beef master. Ngathi kakhulu uhlelo lesilihambisa kakhulu ngilo lona lelo nalo lele tinkukhu solo likhona lele tingulube solo likhona. Ngingasho nje ukuthi bomake abete sibambisane labo sebawendile ama groups abasimeme site sitokhona kubakhulumisa etindzaweni tabo letehlukahlukene.
The chairperson says as the Kingdom of Eswatini is chairing the SADC region of COMFEB, next month will host a sub-region Women Summit. Reporting for Eswatini TV News, I'm Samkel Swekoza with Sonto Mlangeni Manzini.
The Eswatini Business Health and Wellness is working on intensifying COVID-19 vaccination campaign. According to the EBH CEO Tobile Dlamini, they will focus on 10 constituencies where they will be available for vaccination during awkward hours.
The Kingdom of Eswatini has not been able to reach 70% herd immunity. In a bid to encourage Amaswati to vaccinate against COVID-19, Eswatini Business Health and Wellness is working on visiting 10 Tinkhundla centers to vaccinate people even during awkward hours. According to the EBH CEO, Tobile Dlamini, this time the approach will be different.
Kunaletinkhundla lesikhanze ukuthi underperformer kanti kunemabhizinisi kuto manje lama mathi underperformer ukhanza ukuthi access the big businesses alone kuna the smaller ones kuna the informal trade, so we need to go back. So the approach this time is a bit different. It is more mobile. It will allow extended hours or awkward hours. Sibuketa a number of options vele kukuzama upscale asimi ndzawonye langa lonke move with where people are, so they'll be more like mobile teams.
About 29.2% of the population in the country is fully vaccinated. For Eswatini TV News, Sondomlangen with Samgal Suekoza in Babane.
Forest conservation is vital as they play a major role in combating climate change. This has been said by a senior forestry officer in the Ministry of Tourism and Environmental Affairs in recognition of the International Day of Forest that is celebrated every 21st of March.
The United Nations General Assembly declared 21st March the International Day of Forests in 2012 to celebrate and raise awareness of the importance of all types of forests. On this day, countries are encouraged to undertake local, national and international activities involving forests and trees, such as tree planting campaigns. Senior Forestry Officer at the Ministry of Tourism and Environmental Affairs, Mbhekani Nxumalo, says forests are the most biological diverse ecosystem on land and they play a major role in combating climate change.
Forests, they play a very important role in the sense that, firstly, forests, they help to mitigate the impacts of climate change. Secondly, from the forest, that is where most of the water that we take, it comes from. And also from the forest, that is where we get medicines. And forests also, they play a very important role in the sense that they find that there are some trees that produce edible fruits, because we also have some indigenous fruit trees which are found in the forests. In the country, as part of the activities that are to ensure that this day is well commemorated, we have tree planting activities that are ongoing as we speak. Here at Eswatini, here in the Owo region, there is a tree planting activity that is taking place in the Cocoa Center. And we also have other tree planting activities that are taking place in the Lowveld, in 5 schools in the Lowveld. One of the schools is Mahlabaneni Primary School, and we also have Gamula Primary and High School, and also Nzevane Primary and High School.
According to the United Nations report, more than 1.6 billion people depend on forests for their livelihoods, medicine, fuel, food and shelter, whereas the day is themed Forests and Sustainable Production and Consumption. Reporting for Eswatini TV News, I'm Samkel Siwekoza with Sondomlangeni Mhlambanyatsi.
Dear viewers, we'll now take a look at our financial updates.
Bank. It can be.
Welcome back. You're still watching Eswatini TV and here are your sports news. Mbabane Highlanders midfielder Philani Mkhonto has received his first national team call-up for the clash against Somalia in the 2023 AFCON preliminary. Mkhonto, who joined Highlanders about 2 years ago from Super League side Hawane Shooting Stars, believes getting a national team call-up is indeed a dream come true.
Mbabane Highlanders youngster Philani Mkhonto got his first ever call-up to the national team Sihlangu Semnigati in preparations for the AFCON 2023 qualifier preliminary round against Somalia. Mkhonto, who joined Highlanders about 2 seasons ago from Super League side Hawane Shooting Stars, believes the call-up to the national team is indeed a dream coming true.
Ngivale ukuthi sengithole i-call up to the national team was very...
Mkondvo says he was full of excitement when he heard that he has been called to the national team Sihlangu Semnigati. Mkondvo says he has learned a lot from some of the best players in the land who he found at the national team.
First of all, I will embrace the opportunity given to me. Then going forward, I will keep working hard so that maybe in the near future, maybe I will be playing maybe in bigger tournaments, leagues.
Sihlangu will face Somalia this Wednesday in the first leg to be played in Tanzania, with the second leg to be played this coming Sunday at Mobera Stadium in the Republic of South Africa. For Eswatini TV Sports, Fabisum Sonera, Babani.
Eswatini Women Football Association Chairman Monkosi Mhlanga says the lack of football facilities for them to utilize for National Women's League does contribute in delay of development for local women football. Mhlanga says even the few facilities that are available are not in a proper condition. Mhlanga was speaking during the first games of the 2021-2022 second round National Women's League at Correctional in Matsapa.
Eswatini Women Football League second round of the current season resumed this past weekend, with some of the games taking place at the Coronation facility in Matsapa. Chairman of Eswatini Women Football Association, Bongosi Mhlanga, says one of the things that has contributed in the unfortunate delay of the progress of the local women football in the country is lack of facilities.
Yodinzaba emaground i-challenge kakhulu because kakhulu nje besidepende kulela lise technical center, so now khanza ukuthi selibhizi sekufuna ukuthi sifunele amanye ama-alternatives but sesikubonile.
Mhlanga says technical center facility has in the past always been one of their main facility, but it comes as a disadvantage when the national team is using the facility. Mhlanga, however, believes in the near future they will begin talks and negotiations to see how they can secure other facilities.
Siphazamiseka khona and-ke neli-ground lethu lapha sivama kutholakala kahle kakhulu khona e-technical center nakunalama national teams ukhanza ukuthi asikhona ukulisebenzisa but angeke sime simiswe ngiloko sitawuzama kubona lamanye ama-alternatives ema-ground lamanye sichubeke sihlale.
Currently, Young Buffalo's ladies team is on top of the log out of 13 teams with 11 games remaining before the end of the league. For Eswatini TV Sports, Fabisum Sonera with Patricia Msibi, Matsapa.
That is all we had for tonight, but before we wrap up, we'll take a quick look at today's headlines. The Kingdom of Eswatini will soon experience the rise in commodity prices such as flour, bread and fertilizer. The Eswatini dictionary for lower grades, especially grade 0, 1 and 2, will soon be available. That brings us to the end of our news bulletin tonight. Up next is the weather forecast for selected towns. Good night, Eswatini.
Lutsandvo lusekhona, tinyembeti tlatesula, umfalo wekukhatsateka lawetfula, alunamgomo, lofana nemfula lukheleta busuku nemini, imini, iletsa litsemba nebusuku bekukwetsela ngibucocela letivutsa sigodzi sonke tindzaba letishisayo.